Hey there, Rhoda here. Welcome to my craft room. Today we are going to craft with junk. I mean, if you're a junk journaler, you already use some type of junk to do ephemera with, your papers are created out of junk sometimes. It's just, it's a fine line on art and junk in a lot of situations. There's a debate out there. Anyhow, so we're going to turn this into this pockets. There's going to be a tag that goes down in it, and it has some type of little decoration on the outside. And we're also going to have two disassemblies. So what I usually do, now this one, it's not been in a bloody battle. It had some ketchup in it. But I think it might still be able to be used. Let me sniff it. No, I don't think we better. So we're going to go with this one. He's nice and clean. All right, so what you want to do is take it apart. Oh, there's a little bit of chicken nugget. Okay. Um, there was another piece. Anyhow, we take it apart like this. Now what we need to do is we're going to keep our front flaps to assemble the pocket, but we're going to take the back flaps off. So there's like a perforation here, and you just follow down the line. And the same on this side. There we go. Both of those are history. And then we have to do a little fancy folding. You see how it's curved here? We want to make sure that this curve is straight, mainly straight. So we're going to get that straightened out there. Now we're going to do that to the front side. Get it straight. Ooh. And it's okay if you have a little bit of that white showing, because we're covering this. It's going to have a nice little cover on it, and we're going to do a little decoration on it. Now, I always go right up through the middle here of those two marks that I've folded, and I put it, and I need my ruler for that. If you don't have a scoreboard, that is okay. You don't need one. I used a cutting board, not a cutting board, but a ruler and a base for ages. I'm trying to figure out where my two spots are at, there and there. So I'm guessing right here might be my middle. I don't think it really matters. If you're dead center, it does not matter. So we're just going to give a little groove there. And I'm trying to find somewhere to put my ruler. There we go. And so we're going to give it a little tuck in. It goes up, and those two pieces go down. So we're on our way. And what we need to do now is, actually, I folded that wrong. That needs to be a little further in. You don't want to see it. So let's just help it along a little bit. I probably could crease it. You think it's easier? By all means, do that. I'm just impatient. All right, so we're trying to make sure that that doesn't show, because you don't want to have to even bother to cover that part. So there we go. Better, much better. It is fighting me today. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to cover this. And I picked this because my decoration for this, I've got a bee journal I'm getting ready to do sometime in the near future. So I've got all these little pieces and parts over here to decorate with. And I picked this to be my background. It's something with recipes. I got it in a kit long ago. And I thought that kind of honey colored tone on it would be really pretty. So what we're going to do is we're going to open that back out, and we're going to start putting our pieces on here. I don't think it really matters which way you go, but you're going to want to apply your glue to the base here. You don't want to go on the paper. you're not really sure which way it goes. It's got a curve to it. So we're just going to cut around the curve once we get this attached. And I figured this was something that everybody in the world, if they like fries, and Wendy's, well, you can get it from any fast food. But I figured this is something that everybody can get their hands on. And there's always something out there that you can make pockets out of, and items. I had silverware holders from back in March. I went and visited over in West Virginia where I do research, and everywhere we ate at, they had these little paper silverware pockets, I guess you'd call them. And I collected every one I could find and brought it back with me, and I made some quite pretty little pieces to hold. I actually folded it up, so I had a long pocket and a short little tiny pocket in the front. And I've been putting them throughout my journals as I go along. Now the front part here may be a little trickier to you, but it's not quite that bad. We've got to take a longer piece in that part. And what we're going to do is we're going to have to make this a little mark and cut that off so we got something to maneuver with. So we're going to do it right here, and that's going to probably be the bottom of my pocket. And then the other side of my pocket, it's going to be a little bit past that. You want to make it just a little bigger so you just don't cut yourself too short. So, where did I go? Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm cutting straight down. Not going to try anything fancy right now. I'm cutting straight across. And I don't need that anymore. Okay, so what we're going to do, again, is... And then always remember, you want to cover the sides that are going to meet with each other. Because that would not be good to cover the wrong sides, because you won't see the insides of this at all. Which might be a good thing in the case of the bloody French fry massacre over there. Okay. If you can't tell, I like a little catch it with my fries. Okay, I think we're good right there. It's a little longer. I don't think it's going to hurt. And I want to make sure I cover. We don't want that red showing. That would be not a good thing. Okay, so now I'm going to take my little Sharpie scissors here, and we're going to trim around the outside mouth. And doesn't that make you a great rule to go around? It's already on there. You don't have to do any figuring. All right, the other part of it is trimming this down. And what we're going to do is put the wings back and go in here. I don't think these pockets are anything new. I just thought they were kind of neat. I do them a little differently, so that's the only thing I can bring to the table for you, is I think mine are assembled a little differently. So that's the point I'm trying to get across, and that you see it's not too hard to deal with. We're going to do a little bit of, you know, inking just at the mouth and the top. I'm not going to worry about anywhere else. And I kind of thought this was a pretty honey colored paper, so it'll go well with what we're working on here. You know, I keep getting my arms all over the place. That little piece down there we're not worrying about. And now what we're going to do, we're going to actually fold it on up. Oh, wait a minute. I wanted to put this big piece at the back. So, is it going to even show? Let me see. I got to test drive it. Or this is what they call auditioning. You're auditioning your paraphernalia. Well, I can see the box, which is good. I can't see the honey. Let's cut that part off, because we may use honey on the front, on the bottom somehow. The only thing I could find was royal. So This might be even better. Okay, so we want to put this in first. Where's my tweezers? This is my third arm. Okay. So we're going to put this on the top. I've got a few little goodies to put over it to decorate around it, so it's just not floating. And it's kind of an interesting thing where this is an oval top, and I've also got another arch up here at the top. So that kind of works hand in hand for me. All right, I think that might be all we need to worry about on that back piece. Do I need anything else? A honey pot, some honeycomb. I wanted to see the the honey pot on the front, so let's see. I gotta make sure the drip, no, that's too big for there. I think we're going to do those 3. Yeah, I can count. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. We're going to do these 3 right here. Kind of to let you know that the little bee makes delicious honey. And ours do pretty well each year. They usually have plenty to go through the winter with. And we have enough to harvest. And my husband, he didn't have to advertise or anything. He's got people at work that are ready to buy. They buy by the dozens usually. Okay, our next step here is to put this together. And what we're going to do is we're going to lay it back here, and we're going to make sure that our folds go down. I may have a little bit of red showing, but I don't think it's going to hurt anything, because it's not wanting to go around that piece. That's why you've got a little bit showing. In that case, when you're making yours, you may want to make it a little bit, or leave the paper on the front a little bit wider, and that will take care of that. I haven't made these for a while, so I didn't even think about that. But I may put some of my paraphernalia over those pieces, so that's another fix. Okay, so we're putting our wings down. You don't have to do anything with that part down there, but you want it to be folded so it don't stick, down and kind of be ugly. So we're going to put all of our... And this has got a little bit of a, not waxy, but shiny outside coating to it. So I'm going to have to hold it for just a second. Me and Mom love to go here and eat. And we usually get that 4 for 4. So that's how come I had quite a few of these. Okay. Now I could also cover that with a little strip I had left over. So we'll see what I need to do. I have a honey jar, which I can't do it that way because that's going to fall off the page. And that will too. So what are we going to do? Are we going to use our word honey? Maybe we could do that. We're going to cut our word honey to go up that side. And that will fix that problem right there. Yeah, there's always a fix. I'm always telling everybody. There's always a fix. So we're going to go ahead and do this. I don't need any on that upper point, I don't believe. Just so I don't have glue seeping all over. Okay. Now, I'm going to put that down along this edge, and I want to be high enough to cover up that red. There we go. Because you're going to put this on your page in your journal, and it's going to be just on the bottom corner or in the center of your page itself. And that's all you're going to have to do with it. We're going to have us a little honey pot. I might put me some more honeycomb there. I think I will. Let's see. How would I do it? I'm going to do it where I get the drip. I like that drip. Okay. So we're going to just do 2. over here. Oops, that one was sticking. Let go. Okay. Gotta get bossy with it. All right, there we go. So I'm gonna put that little drip right there. I think that'll be good. I'm using this from a digital that I had. I had an extra piece or whatever that I had printed. And so whatever you've got spare, wise around the house, around your craft room, just go ahead and use it up. That's what I try to do a lot of, use it up. Well, I think that'll look good because I've got honey. I've got the honey drip in there. I think that'll work. I love these little honey jars. I remember using that little wooden spool thing to get the honey out because it is sticky and you don't want to get it everywhere. Okay, we're going to go to the bottom here, and there we go. And now we're going to fresh honey. Don't want to put fresh anywhere. We're not going to worry about that. I also had these little cutouts from, it was a die cut I have. It's actually chicken wire fence, and all these little cutouts come out. And let me put a couple up here, just the foil prettiness, Let's go with 3. That's magic number. So, and we're going to simulate our honeycomb over here. So let's do that. And I'm going to put one of my little bees on top of it, I believe. So one right here. And one right here. Whoops, I gotta leave a crack. The only problem with this foil is you get the glue seepage and it sticks to the front. But if you have that happen, lick your finger and rub it a little bit and then wipe it with a cloth. Comes right off. Comes right off. Okay. We have one little guy flying. And then we got one kind of crawling. Which, maybe he's crawling up the side of his building there. No, maybe not. We're going to have him flying down here. I think that's good. I wanted him up there, though. Yeah, we'll do that. He's flying off screen to go back and find his honey harvest again. He probably told all of his, or she told all of her sisters, because they're all female except for the drone. And they're going back after they do the dance and finding where to get more of it. At this time of year, there's not too much for them to harvest. Those purple thistles are about the last thing that they're able to harvest off of. There we go. They don't look too bad. Gotta get that little bit of glue seepage and we're good. I think that might be it. I'm not going to worry about Royal and all the rest of these little guys. Don't know. Maybe I can get him down here. Maybe right there. Why not? Put a little bit of effort into it here. And there's always, what is it? The I in team with bees. The more the merrier, because the more they've got, the more they can collect and be able to survive that harsh winter. I'll tell you, it's rough on the poor little things sometimes. Okay, I think we're good. And I didn't have really anything to show you for the tag itself. I was going to show you, I have this old piece of scrap here. I've been using it in several videos. But you can figure out where your base is. And this may be a little wide. So you can always make it a little skinnier. And you can figure out how tall you want your tag to be. And, I mean, even that's a little tall. But you can make whatever decision you want to do. You may even want to make a tag that's this shape, this odd shape. And then this scrap could be just folded in half if anybody needs ideas, and just use that for your pool. You can do that too. That's one of the simpler ways I've made them before. All right, so our little guy here is done. He will go in my folder for my different books I'm planning on doing. And then I've got another piece of junk over here I wanted to show you. And it is a Louisiana, I couldn't say this earlier, but it's a Louisiana family size tea box, 48. And see how big and nice those papers covers are? Let's go ahead and I'm going to show you how to make a tag out of this. I'm going to try to cut it as straight as possible. Ow, something happened. Well, it was my tweezers that hit me. That's okay. One of these scissors. Alright, so we're going to go ahead, and I'm not ever going to be able to get that straight, so we're just going to use this and make a straight line, and I can go by that. Go over here, make one. Try to avoid all those cuts and things. Okay, and the top and the bottom is already nice and straight. That came right off the box. So we just need to deal with our sides. I save a bunch of these type of boxes. I've got a little black tea one that I use to do smaller tags. This is great to do a larger tag. And I have a floral type of a journal I'm getting ready to invest into. I guess is the best way to go about it. So I thought that this might make for a good subject. I've got this piece, and I now have to figure out what to do with this big old piece. And I thought, well, let me just put that on the back of a big card, big journal card. And that will take care of most of that. Now, because this is so red and it may show through, that's where you want to go ahead and put you a base. This is just regular paper, scrapbook paper in white. So we're going to just go ahead and cover this whole thing, just so we don't get anything showing through. You don't want the green or the red. It's not quite Christmas yet. Not quite. So we're not going to be cutting anything on here except for the two tabs at the top. I'm going to make it look like a large tag. So that's the only part we would need to worry about if I needed to re-glue a little bit. Okay. Oh, my tweezers hit my foot. That's right. I forgot. So I had to go for them. Alright. I'm going to put this down, and I'm sure I'm going to have to do a little trimming on one side or the other. And it's always good to use like a old card, gift card, to smooth that out. That spreads that glue. Sometimes spreads it all the way out just on your board. but that's a good way of getting a great seal. So, alright. I think we're good. Now we're going to get here and trim. I don't know if I need that again, so we'll get rid of it. I had a friend that said, I don't know how you're able to craft in that small little area. The less room to make a mess in. That's what I'm thinking. And I can make one. Oh, you get paper everywhere in some cases. I am not sure which one was straight. This white paper or this piece of tea bag box. So we're going to just trim it. And I think that's good enough. Now, I don't know if you've seen this before, but I took this and made 2 different angle cuts on it. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this. Now, see, the back is, I don't have to do anything with the back. It's ready to be written on, so I'm not going to worry with it. Now, if you didn't like that stark white, you can come back in with your distress ink and your brush and just like brush over it real lightly. You can also get in here with a stencil and do some stenciling on it to make it nice. Now, we can go with it like this and cut my 2 ends, and then I'll flip it and get the same cut on this side. Or, as quite a few ladies on the YouTube videos show you, I'm wanting a little bit bigger cut, so I'm going to do it this way. And see, you cut it like that, and then you flip it and go in from this side with the same piece, and you know you've got the same shape on both corners cut off. There we go. So that's all I had to do there. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take that piece that we wanted to use, and in this case that bottom is a little, it's not quite long enough. I know it's white on white, but you would probably see that seam. So what we're going to do is we're just going to cut that part off after we get this glued down. So easiest way to do it is to go ahead. Now this was done on copy paper. That's why I didn't just use it to cover this with, because that copy paper, you can see through it easy, very easy. Okay, so we're going to get up through here and do all of our edges. And do the famous wiggle. I see some people that only put like a little bit of a strip. I want this baby to hold. I've had so many pieces that once you glue it down and you don't get a good coverage, you'll see it buckling on your edges in some cases. So there, I think we're good. I want a little more of that pink showing. I think that pink one's the prettiest. All right, now what we're going to do, we're going to do our credit card trick again. And I can kind of see back there what part is going to be cut off and what won't. And we just cleared that, so that was great. All right, so now time to trim again. And let's see which way I want to go about it. This way. All right. So this is easy enough. Just trimming around your nice sturdy piece of tea box. I got a little bit up here that got it over the lip. And we got this. And then this. I'm going to save that teacup though. I got a journal I'm doing in the future that's teacups. So he is going to go right down in my bag so I can do something with it later. All right, put all my trash up there. And that's what we got. Now, we're going to dress this up a little bit more. I have a few little goodies here that I thought we could go on the outside with. I have this pretty little washi stamp set that I thought would work too, because of course butterflies love flowers. And then I've got these 2 little green pieces of washi. I'm going to see what we can do with all of those items. And I've got this poor old decrepit doily, and it glued, or not glued, it stuck to another doily out there the other day when I baked it in the sun, and I didn't get out soon enough. So I've got these edges here that I can work with, and I've got this one that's nice and not too messed up. So I thought I would use that maybe on the bottom where it kind of hides the edge of the stems. I don't think it's too bad. We're actually going to Actually, I do have to trim off the bottom of my card. I forgot about that. So we're going to do that part. And we're going to first trim off our card. Am I going to do it with my ruler? I don't trust myself. I just don't trust myself. All right. There we go. Now, take care of that. Ooh, I can't even cut straight, and I gave myself a line. There we go. I don't think it needs to be that straight. Now, this is the tough part, because that's a little on the long side. I don't want to have to put more glue on this thing than I have to, because it takes a bit to get in and out of all these angles. So usually what I'll do is I'll try to just do the upper edge and a few strips around the outside. Try to get all the edge pieces that I can. Okay, and all the big areas. Do a few of my little loop-de-loops. And all these little strappy things here, they do not like to play well. So if you can get the glue on them before all of this dries, more power to you. That would work out in the best if you can. I've been gluing a few of these doilies to things lately, and they just, those little strappy things are the worst. Okay, I think we're almost there. I think we got enough glued down. Okay. And it's awful wimpy now with all that glue on it. But I like the idea that it's got that T on it. The T burnt, where it's collected and kind of went into each other and became dark. I got tea bags galore that I'm going to do some future items with. So that ought to be interesting. I love the tea bags. I think my best junk journaling item to use in full capacity is a tea bag. I get to drink it, then I get to make papers with it, and then I can use the string, I can use the bag itself. It's great. All right, what we're going to do here is I'm going to do, those will go on last. Okay, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do that stamping technique. And I wanted to put a little bit more on here. It's a little plain, especially up there. So what we're going to do is we're going to, and this color is Rich Cocoa. So we're going to kind of just dab it around. I don't really need a strong coverage. And then let me see how deep it is. So that wasn't bad. I think that'd be just right. Sometimes you want it to blot off once, especially if it's going to be a real deep color. Okay. And I think I got this stamp block, and I was a little crooked, wasn't it? I think I got this from Hobby Lobby. It's one of those great buys. It's one of the things that you can do a lot with, and it goes a long way for you. I mean, it's not something you can read. You don't need to read it. It's to put that extra piece of texture design on the back of these things. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do the whole thing. Let's do that. Let's do that. Now, the problem is that I see is I may not be getting straight with the other batch, so I'm not going to worry about it. Just go down with complete abandon. And see how it misses some spots? That's fine with me. That's even better. Okay, let's do some jibby-jabbying on there, and there. Okay, I think we're good. Now what we're going to do is, I know, I'm going to do a little bit of inking because I don't like that white edge. I'm going to do it with the antique or vintage photo. Let's see. I know there's some of you that like a white, stark, unmarred edge, but if you're trying to make it vintagey, this is the way to go. You're wanting to get that burnt edge look. You're wanting to give a little bit more color. And see, it does good. And then when you're trying to get a little further in there, I lay it down a little bit. And don't reload. I mean, if you're not too good at judging your ink, don't go in there with a new bunch of it, because it will give you more than you're wanting. A lot more. Okay, all of that is done. Now I think what we're going to do is just do a little bit more decorating. It's got a little bit of yellow, so I think we'll go ahead and go with this yellow butterfly right here. We're going to want to take and put a little bit extra glue on it. You never truly trust washi tape, because it doesn't always go down good. So we're putting that here, right there. We're going to see about putting some of this. I like this little piece of vine, I believe it is, and put it along the top. And I'll put that bigger one along the bottom edge. So we're just going to put a line right here. Oops, I could get it all the way across and not all over my board. There we go. That's just going to give me like a top where it's just not floating in dead air. Go and trim off our edges. There we go. And now I'm going to see about putting a base on the bottom down here. If you'll want that, let me test drive it or audition it. That's not bad. Now I know I'm covering up, and since I am going to be covering up what I put on there, I'm going to go up just a little higher. How about that? So it still lets you see a little bit of the doily. And I'm not really covering up the butterfly because I can see through that. And then we're going to rub it down. Put that here. Whoops. And cut that straight. I think it's straight. And we're going to put our extra little pieces on here. We've got classified in red, and you always want to get your colors around. So we're going to put classified down there because the red is up there. You want to try to get your eye to travel to see all the different angles and elements of your piece. So we're putting that across that washi tape right there. Don't know what classified has to do with this, but that's what we're going to go with. Now we have a little flower here we're going to put there. It's got a little bit of a blue color in there, so I think this is fine. Always kind of look at your colors and see what would work. We're going to overlap that a piece on there so it looks like it's supposed to blend together. And since we have a butterfly here and not anything up here in a kind of an empty spot, we're sticking it there. I was going to put kind on here, but I don't think we're going to work with that because it's not really anything with that tone. Not strongly anyway. All right, we're going over to just a little bit to the side because I want to leave room for a hole. I'm not going to do that right now, but I think she's done. And there's a tea box. So our items we made today are a fry box and a tea box tag. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Please give me some likes and please subscribe if you'd like to see more. And I really appreciate all my new subscribers out there and my old subscribers, even though I've only done it a couple months. But I appreciate all of you. And thank you very much for watching.